The topic, Justin Herbert. The thesis, how some subtle changes we've seen in practice is already giving me a lot more hope for how he'll play in the NFL. Let's just get into it. So I fully realize that making a video about just practice tape is kind of a tough thing to do for a couple of reasons. One, we only have just a little bit of tape in general that we've seen. Also, there's an element of if a player makes a lot of bad plays, you're not really going to get to see that too much because they're probably going to edit those out. They're probably only going to show a handful of the player's best plays, so it's hard to get an exact idea. That being said, I think I found a little nugget watching some Herbert tape during the Chargers practice that I think is going to be very key, and I actually think it gives me a lot of hope for how Herbert can be. He's someone I wasn't very high on coming out of the draft, but I think that he might have fixed one of his problems, and so let me just get into it right here. As you see on the screen, that's where he is. So even this, again, like I say, it's not super easy to tell what exactly is going on with the tape. Part of it is because, it's not like we get all 22 footage. We kind of just get the camera angles we get, and if someone happens to be in the way and someone's in the way, there is going to be a coach in the way. But basically, it's going to be a play action. It's sort of a practice play action, obviously, so he's not full-on selling this. But what I like about this is that he's going to do this basically while he's standing up. He doesn't move too far over. Watch how, kind of just does it a little bit. He shifts his knees and then gets right back into the throwing motion. It's a very quick motion, but still definitely could give a handoff. And this is an important thing. Peyton Manning has talked about how he used to get a camera and put it on a tripod and put it out in the practice field and basically just watch it after it and see if his play actions and his actual passes looked exactly the same. And if there was any slight difference, he would fix those differences. So you want to make sure that you're doing it in the exact same way, but you also want to make sure that, you're putting yourself in position where you could hand the ball off quickly or you could get ready to throw very quickly. Like this next clip is another example of this, where what you're going to see is that, once again, it is going to be a running play. It kind of looks like the arrow is pointed towards the receiver. It's pointed towards the halfback who's behind the receiver. Again, not the best camera angles, but I'm working with it, and I do think this is interesting to bring up, which is why I'm making a video about it. But what you're going to see happen is that watch how Herbert is going to fake this handoff, where he's fully going back to fake the handoff, which, it's a handoff, so nothing too surprising right here. But what I love about this is watch how he's getting back into throwing motion very quickly. If he was throwing the ball after that, he would immediately be in position where he can make a throw. And this is not just a small thing. This is a huge thing. It would be a small thing if it was any other quarterback doing this. I wouldn't be making a video about it if it was any other quarterback doing it. But the fact that it's Herbert actually means a lot to me, because this is something that Herbert really struggled with in college. Like, this is an example right here where what's going to happen is that it's going to be play action, and there's just a receiver running a route that's not very far, just over the middle, and it could get open. This is a very simple play. This is something that's not complicated at all. And basically the way it works is that you get the linebackers to move in because of the play action. They think it's going to be a run. They get out of position. Now they're moved in, which means that the angles are going to be easier for Herbert to throw over them or throw in between them and hit his receiver that he wants to hit, and you pick up some yards that way. Very simple concept. But again, part of what makes this play work is the play action aspect. If the linebackers aren't fooled, well, then you basically just wasted time for no reason. So for Herbert, he has to make sure he does get them to bite into play action. And he is going to do that, but what I don't like about this is look at how far bent over he is. He is really trying to sell this run. He's doing his best to sell the run. And listen, it's not a terrible idea in theory because it's working. You look at the players in the middle of the field for Wisconsin, they've all moved closer in. They are expecting a run right here. So that worked for Herbert. He was able to get them to move in. That's not really the problem I have with it so much. The problem I have is that it's going to take him so much more time to get into throwing motion. And the reason why that's such a problem is watch how he's going to rush this, and he ends up just making a short throw that actually results in an interception. That is a huge difference. And I think that, A lot of the reasons why many people were very low on Herbert, why I have been low on Herbert, is his accuracy. I think that's pretty much everyone's problem with Herbert that does have a problem with him. I mean, listen, he's 6'6", he has a cannon of an arm, he is a great athlete, so there definitely are some positives, but I think a lot of people are more concerned about, he has all these measurables, he has great potential, but accuracy is really the most important thing for a quarterback, and if he doesn't have accuracy, I'm not so sure he can be successful in the NFL. But also part of his accuracy problems have been from his fundamentals. And to me, this actually goes to show a lot more than just how he'll perform off of play action. It tells me that the Chargers are taking these fundamentals and these problems that Herbert has very seriously, because he's already improved in this. And this was just first couple days of practice that he's doing this. So I'm thinking all offseason, this has been a key part of his game. And I do think that these fundamentals could really help him, and it could actually have him potentially live up to his potential that I didn't think he was going to when I said that teams shouldn't draft him. It's honestly making me reconsider that take, which is crazy to think about, that I'm legitimately reconsidering a take that I had in the draft just from watching a practice. And I could only see a few minutes, there's probably only 10 minutes of Herbert tape from practices out there. I watched every second of it, and I think that there's a real significant change there. There was a couple other things I'll show just because, might as well. This one, that's where Herbert's in the black circle. Receiver's running a route, it's going to cut over the middle. It's a little bit further down. And as you see, Herbert is just going to do a tremendous job of, hitting him in stride. Really good thrown ball right there. He had a few of those in practice, so I think that there is some promise to, he throws a very catchable ball. If he can get his accuracy down, he can legitimately be a superstar. I mean, I think that we all agree on that, but the problem is that, how accurate you throw a football is a huge part of the quarterback position. So I think that's kind of the concern many have with him. But again, so far, I mean, it sucks that we don't have preseason, because I do think preseason helps rookies a lot and helps us sort of evaluate how a rookie can play. I do think that preseason matters a lot more than the perception is. But just from what we've seen some good things. We saw him in Hard Knocks throwing a ball, in that target practice. He looked pretty good. And could they be editing that to make him look better? Yeah, of course, that's what they could be doing. There almost definitely is some element of that. I'm sure he missed some throws and they just didn't show those. But at the same time, I mean, you definitely saw some clips of players on the sideline saying, man, he throws such a catchable ball. This is great. And I think that's promising. I think that's a good thing. Again, does it definitely mean he's going to be a successful quarterback? No, of course not. But I think it's better than that not happening, Again, it is just practice tape. I am to some degree making a mountain out of a molehill, but I think this molehill is very key. And in football, the offense, oftentimes the line between great and bad is very small, and I think that he can definitely get to that side of great a lot. But I feel a lot more confident than I did when he was drafted. Let's say that much. I might not fully be on the Justin Herbert hype train just yet, but I've definitely looked at my map and figured out where the hype train is, and figured out where the last stop is, to make sure that I might want to hop on that at some point, which is definitely not what I thought I was going to be saying before the season even started. But I think that the way he's been working on his fundamentals, it clearly shows on tape. You can just see he looks like a different guy out there. In his highlights, again, he's always had one of the best highlights, and if he can just keep his fundamentals down, I think the sky is the limit for him. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Am I making something out of nothing here, or do you agree? Do you think this is actually a really good sign for him? I'd like to know what you guys think, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.